Well, moving on, we have this important report from the Ambazonian State Army. The Ambazonian State Army carried out a successful ambush on the La Republic de Cameroon military in Fako County on May 29th, showcasing their tactical prowess and commitment to the independence struggle. Now, according to this report, the Ambazonian State Army operatives laid a well-planned ambush, catching the colonial military column off guard. Now, the attack resulted in significant damage to the colonial military's personnel and equipment. This latest operation, as we keep seeing, demonstrates the Ambazonian State Army's continued ability to outmaneuver and outsmart the La Republique du Cameroon's military. Now, the Ambazonian State Army's success in this ambush is a testament to their strategic planning, training, and dedication to the Ambazonian cause. The Ambazonian State Army's actions are driven by their commitment to achieving independence for Ambazonia. Well, this is a just cause. However, their operations aim to disrupt the La Republique du Cameroon's military's control and assert their own authority in the zone. Now, the successful ambush shows the ongoing security challenges in Ambazonia. The La Republique du Cameroon government faces a determined and well-organized adversary in Ambazonia, now which will likely continue to challenge the colonial military's capabilities. And this draws us to the fact that Ambazonia must be free. And this is not time for the people to remain silent. Well, tonight, Barrister Mbeseha, let's have you again. Within the week, we had reports on the increasing insecurity situations in Ambazonia, categorically in Bamenda. Now, right here is another case in Fako, but this time, the Ambazonian State Army have showcased a relentless applause of bravery like we usually see all the time. Now, what's your reaction to this, and what cautious word do you have to say to the Ambazonian people in the face of this conflict?
The attack is so significant. Let us forget about what's happened in Bamenda the past weeks or months. The attack on the 29th of May, somewhere in Fako, is absolutely important. Why? Because the colonial government has built a visit of the Prime Minister to Fako in particular, and Southwest in general, starting 27th of May to 31st. So 29th falls within that period of time when the Prime Minister is in Boya. What is the Prime Minister in Boya trying to do? By the own agenda, the Prime Minister is in Boya to preach a reconstruction, which reconstruction signals a return to normalcy. With this Prime Minister's visit to showcase reconstruction, to showcase return to normalcy, where does it stand in the face of this attack? Not anywhere else but in Fako, where Boya is based. Not anywhere else but Fako, where all the military forces are based, starting with their B being trained in Manowobe, starting with every village, every corner there, staffed with the military, a large police school in Motengene, a large military camp in Amba, a large military camp in Marfo, about 5 camps in Boya itself. So it is telling enough evidence to tell the world that what the government has been saying in general and what they are trying to do now in particular, 27th to 31st of May, is a sham thing. It's pretentiousness. And so it fails, it shows their own failure. Because when the Prime Minister comes, in addition to what they have, all those military bases there, they are well armed, positioned to clap. You saw people dancing there in the streets of Chico, clapping for Mr. Diongote Tekan. Again, this is Fako. Fako is part of the Southwest. Mr. Diongote, who is visiting as the Prime Minister, not as Diongote, is from the Southwest. So the story is telling. It is enough evidence to challenge their own narrative. Their narrative has failed. There's no return to normalcy. There's no reconstruction going on. The war is ongoing. And then it only goes to add to what has happened elsewhere before, in Bamenda, in Bui, and any other county that we have records of. And so that's what I take from it, is the show explanation of their own failure. The on the seats have fallen plain on plain air to show that they are lying to themselves, they are lying to the world. Over to you.
Barrister Mbeseha. Before we get to some of those facts, and I believe Barrister Fro would have a lot to say even about the first report, but then Barrister Fro, it's always a delight to get your reactions. Last week we had the honor of hosting Commander Willie on the show, and he presented an elaborated defense analysis and how effective the operations of the Ambazonian State Army has been. Now, this report also shows that at every stance, they implement goal-driven strategies to protect the people while staying brave as the war rages on. Let's get your expressions on this.
Yes, Tabitha, before I react, let me take you back just one or two sentences of the topic about the school, about the examinations on a Monday. We as a government of the Southern Cameroon Ambazonia are calling on the GCE board, which is based in Boya, to ensure that there are no exams on Monday for other children to miss. Because if some parents think that it is safe and some think that it is not safe, it is not to our interest for any of our children to not to write an exam. Therefore, I'm calling on the GCE board to reconsider and push the subjects that were supposed to have taken place on Monday to Tuesday. It's just 24 hours away. Now, coming back to reaction, Tabitha, I want to congratulate the Ambazonia State Army in Fako for one reason. The way the journey of the Prime Minister John Gote was planned in Yaoundé and in Boya and other places, it was done in secrecy. It was done in secrecy, and they sent tons and tons of troops to tantalize our citizens. A lot of our citizens were arrested in what they call Kale Kale, in a corner, in Mile 16, in some parts of Muyuka, arrested and taken away before the 29th. And nobody knows when they will be released, or whether they are being released now, I would not know. But the intelligence got to the ASA of Fako very late, but they acted. They immediately organized themselves and went on an ambush. And that shows exactly what Commander Willie was talking about. The ASA is alert and ready 24/7. Anytime they get intelligence, they will act. The question that comes to my mind is, when John Gote and his so-called team, because they were there and dancing in Boya and Tico and all that, when they got the news of that incident, which was not very far from there, from Munyenge, when they got the news of the explosion of the military truck, whether it was a military truck or military whatever, and the number of casualties on the military side, on that same day of 29, when John Gote was dancing in Boya, what will be the reaction of one, the government of La République du Cameroon, and two, the international community that is watching? They were trying to show that, preaching that the reconstruction, normalcy is arriving, is back to the southern zone and all that. But they were disproved by a military operation not very far from where they were preaching that rubbish. What do you think the world will think? That the war is on. The war is on. Therefore, I take this opportunity to congratulate our forces in Fako for a job well done. They sent the message, and the message was received not only by La République du Cameroon, but the world, that the war is on and raging. They may select some a place in Boya and Tico that they think is safe, but they heard the news of the attack. They can only deceive themselves. They are not deceiving the world. Thank you very much.
Facts right there, Barrister Fro. Well, thank you for joining us on the show tonight, Barrister Fro and Barrister Mbeseha. It's always a pleasure to have you share your thoughts and perspectives to the unfolding reports in Ambazonia and the reports we get from the home front. However, it's good to have you once more, and as always, I would like to have you again and again and again. But then, this is where we'll be handing it over to Mr. Ta. Stay tuned.